Welcome back. Unfortunately, one of my bulbs has gone, so it's a little bit dark in here. I do apologise. I'll try and get that sorted out for the next video. Today I'm talking about the game away at Manchester United, and I'm going to be talking about the score. Obviously, the score is going to be on the thumbnail, so you're going to see that anyway. But if you don't want to know the details of the game, then go and check it out before you come back and listen to my thoughts on the game itself. So it was one of those games, like the Aston Villa game, like the Newcastle game, when we were meeting Manchester United after they had just appointed a new manager, Ralph Ragnick. This was the first game in charge of Manchester United, and you know it's that honeymoon manager period where players try to fight for their places, and they're working really hard. New impetus put in, stuff like that. It was always going to be a hard game. I mean, Manchester United, I know they've not had the run of form they've had of recent years, but they are still a very good team, still full of very good individual players. And so it was always going to be a tough time to get something from the game, and we were going to have to work hard, and we did work hard. In terms of the lineup, we had Gaeta in goal. Then we had Nathaniel Klein, who had come in for Ward, who was suspended. Then we had James Tomkins, Mark Gahey, and Tarek Mitchell, and that made up the back four. In the middle, we had Schlupp, Kouyaté, and Gallagher. And up front, Ayew, Benteke, and Zaha. Now I think I know why Ayew came in, because he played really well in the Leeds game, and he worked so incredibly hard. And I think Vieira wanted that work ethic, because he tracks back, he defends, he tries to link up play. He works really, really hard. Benteke, I think, was there because he's a hold up man. They can put the ball to him, he'll hold it up, and also he's good in the air, not just in our corners, but also in defensive corners as well, which I think we need at the moment. So it was a good kind of balanced lineup. At the back, not at the back, in the substitutions, we had Butland, Milivojevic, Alese, Ize, Hughes, Matete, Edouard, Kelly, and Riedwald. That's not a bad lineup, pretty good bench there, to be fair. And I know a lot of people were thinking Will Hughes would start. I thought he would have a period of time in the game. Wasn't entirely sure he was going to start, but he didn't make any appearance in the game, which was very, very odd. And I'm going to be doing a video about that, which you can see on this channel in maybe a day or two. But so the game started with Manchester United coming out of the blocks with all cylinders firing. They were very, very fast coming out of the kickoff. They were pushing up, pressing high, very similar to the Leeds game, in fact, where they pushed it really high to our defenders, wasn't letting our defenders pass the ball out or do our usual passing from the back that we like to do, or have been doing under Vieira. And I think this is going to be a tactic that teams are going to start to do now against us, because they know that this is how we're going to play. And I think that they are now trying to come up with ideas to try and stop us getting into our game. And this is one way they're doing it. I think Leeds and Manchester United, I think they've done their homework, and they pushed it really high, and it made it very difficult for us to get out. And they had a lot of, probably, I'll say the first 10-15 minutes was sustained pressure by Manchester United. But we did very well. I know we've had some defensive frailties this season, but we did hold out very well. We were limiting their opportunities, limiting their shots on goal. They had a couple of half chances, but overall, we were working really hard as a team. We were tracking back and trying to disrupt their flow of their game and things like this. We were occasionally getting forward and able to get, close to their goal, maybe create half a chance ourselves. But for the first, I would say, 20 minutes of the first half, they were pretty much all over us. We did then try and get back into the game, and we were working hard. And Benteke, I know some people don't think he's works very hard, and there are occasions during this game when he could have perhaps made a run and didn't. But he's there. He's a tough hold up guy, and I think he didn't play too badly in this game. Actually, I think he worked hard, as I said before. He's always the kind of guy where you think if there's a cross coming in or a corner, he is a definite threat in the air. And it's one of those things where you have to be you have to believe that he's going to do it. And I think that he had a very good chance in the game where he hit the ball and it just fizzed past the post. And it's just one of those games where we weren't creating a lot of chances, and certainly in the first half we didn't create a lot of chances. We were creating a few half chances. Zaha had a shot and things like that. So Ayew had a good shot that went past the post as well. Actually, he should have scored it. To be fair, he should have scored this goal. He fired it across the face of the goal. He should have really tried to get it on target. It didn't. It fizzed past De Gea and past the post, which was really disappointing for us, because I think that was our best chance of the game. I think by far one of the best chances we had to score a goal. And if we'd have done that, I think it may have changed the way Manchester United then approached the game. They were pressing, but they were also patient. They knew that eventually something would happen, and trying not to go too far up so that we would catch them on the break. And that's kind of how it finished in the first half. It was a bit of a stalemate. We were both trying to impress ourselves in the game. Manchester United, I think, had slightly more possession in the first half. And at half time, there weren't any substitutions at half time. It all came out exactly the same as it was before. And it's just the second half came out and we were a little bit less. I would say we came out trying to put our impression on the game. Manchester United came out a little bit less fired up, a little bit less high tempo in the second half. I think maybe either they were getting tired, or maybe Rangnick had said something to them to try and ease off a little bit. But they didn't seem as high pressing and as determined as they were in the first half. And it allowed us to get a few little runs going up front to try and get a goal, or to try and create something that was going to happen. And even though we were trying to create things and trying to work at it, our work ethic was absolutely fantastic. So we worked really hard, but we just weren't creating the chances from the possession we were having up front. The ball was going wide, or the ball was being intercepted, or De Gea was just taking care of it very easily. We didn't really seem to have a lot of, I would say, teeth up front in terms of getting the ball on target and taking a shot and having things like this. And I think possession-wise, perhaps slightly more even in the second half than it was in the first half. But again, not a huge amount to talk about in terms of possession or anything like that. But something that did happen, again, as it happens to us more often than not in games lately, right at the death, we were defending our goal, and Fred, of all people, decided that he was going to take a shot from outside the 18-yard box, and he took the shot, and it was bending and dipping, and it beat Gaeta, but Gaeta went to the top corner. And I think everyone was stunned that he had scored this goal. It was just one of those goals that I don't think anyone could have predicted was going to happen. And he scored it, and it was 1-0 to Manchester United, and we had so little time to reply to that at that point. And we did bring on Edouard, came on for Benteke, and Lacey came on, and Eze came on late in the game. But it really wasn't. It was too late by then. We didn't have the time to come back at them, or to create the chances to get a goal back. Again, when you think about the late goals that we concede, it is a shame. But I don't think it was necessarily our fault. I think that it was one of those shots where 9 times out of 10, I'm sure if he'd hit that, it would go over the bar, or it'd go wide, or something like that. He just hit it sweetly this time, and it floated in to the top corner. It's difficult to legislate against something like that, and it's difficult, I think, as Patrick Vieira, to legislate for something like that. You expect it from someone like Ronaldo or from Fernandes, but I know Fred does have he's a skillful player, but he's not usually that type of goal scorer, and so you kind of don't work that into the plan as much. And maybe we could have got closer on him. Maybe we could have closed him down quicker, perhaps. But I think it was just one of those goals that is just out of the blue, shall we say. Stats-wise, you can see from the stats that I'm going to put on the screen just how how dominant Manchester United were during the game. They had 16 shots to our 8. They had 3 shots on target, we only had 2. Possession, although, you know, I mean, to have 16 shots but only 3 on target, that, you know, I think that shows how hard we were working, that they were having shots, but they weren't getting to the goal, and I think that was an idea of how hard we were working as a team. Possession 62% to our 38%. Passes 530 from Manchester United, 331 for us. Pass accuracy 82% for them, 71 for us. So it was, you know, you could see that they were on top of the game and they had the majority of the possession. It reminded me a little bit of a Roy Hodgson game, you know, when we would set our stall up to defend well, defend hard, try and get them on the break. That is how it kind of worked out for me. Perhaps a little bit more attacking than the Roy Hodgson game would have been in some situations, but that seemed to be, for me, how it looked. And it's, you know, this is one of those things where you think to yourself, on another day, if that goal from Ayew had gone in, it would have been 1-1, could have been very different. And, you know, even though we were second best a lot of the time, we worked incredibly hard, and I think we have to praise the team for how hard they worked and how much they wanted to get something from that game. Were we unlucky? Perhaps to a degree, not to get at least a point. But, you know, it's Manchester United. They've got a new manager, and they're, you know, it's one of those things. I think we're playing Watford again soon. So hopefully they won't get a new manager in before we play them, because that just seems to be the way it's going for us at the minute. As soon as you know, we play a team, they sack their manager and get a new manager in, and then they beat us. So I hope that isn't going to happen coming forward. But let me know what you think about the game. What did you think about it? Did you think that we were poor? Do you think we played poorly? Do you think that we were unlucky not to get a point from the game? How would you have set out the team differently? Would you have added someone different into the mix? You know, people talked about having Eze in the middle. I don't think he was going to play the whole game anyway because of the injury he recently had. Maybe Hughes would have made a difference, and I'm going to do a video on Hughes, a separate video, which you can catch later on. But let me know your thoughts in the comments, and I'll try and reply to as many as I can. Thank you very much for joining me. I hope that you have a good day, and until next time, CIYP.